Because you're now forcing people to grind.
And I mean, at the end of the day, one of my friends said World of Warcraft reminds him of a game where you grind to get gear, to improve your gear, to grind faster, to get better gear, to grind even faster.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is the concept of most MMOs, or basically all MMOs.
Yeah. That's you know, in a manner of speaking, how can I put this? A MMO is self-defeating, ultimately. Ultimately, it is going.
Yeah, but we all know that you're
kill
biased
itself.
against MMOs.
Yeah.
A thing that Two-Way brought up, and if you don't know who Two-Way is, he's the guy who played Payday with me last night on the Twitch stream, and he said, "Oh, that's a sign of WoW attempting to gain subscribers." And he also brought up a thing of like, oh, then WoW's in dire need. He said Blizzard is desperate now to keep their subscriber counts. Because it's different showing, oh, we've got, let's say, 100,000 active subscribers, but we've got 2 million players.
Yeah.
You know, there will be people playing the game, but only 100,000 actually supplies their game time. It's a really exaggerated amount, I know, a really big exaggerated amount, but do you think
I mean, WoW
it's
subscribers at the moment is 10 million. Sorry, go ahead.
Is it still 10 million?
It picked up again,
I think
considerably.
Yes, it dropped to about 8 million and up again significantly.
Okay.
And I certainly, for one, don't know anyone that doesn't have 4 characters. Well, I've got 3, but I mean, excessive characters.
But then again, it doesn't have the same thing as EVE. And EVE Online, when you have 4 characters, you have 4 accounts.
That's true. You can have you can have multiple characters on one account, yes.
I think, for MMOs, looking to the future is the concept now has been proven, but we live now in a time where MMOs get boring very quickly. I take a look at the last one that I played. It was Elder Scrolls Online. It has subsequently gone free to play, and I think it will tank very soon because there aren't any new concepts coming to the table. So what one has is you have your designated MMO, most probably World of Warcraft. You will then try another MMO. It's not going to give you anything new. You're going to close that account and go back to your World of Warcraft account, and the problem with that is at some point it's going to run out of content. I mean, if you take a look at the lore behind Warcraft, is the ultimate bad guy is a dude called Sigarius. And sooner or later, Blizzard are gonna have to give you the option of, well, you can't fight him. There's no actual way you can fight him because he is a Titan, right? And Titans, even if you're like level 200, have a party of 60, you're not going to defeat a Titan. I mean, Blackwing was the previous bad guy in Cataclysm just before Mists of Pandaria. It took all of the dragon's powers to defeat him, and the players were actually just there to, I don't know, tickle his claws as far as I saw. I didn't actually play it, but from the gameplay videos I saw, the players were fighting against his claws. Now imagine a Titan that shaped the world, and you have to now fight this. So ultimately it's going to be a battle against him where you are assisting the other Titans to take him down. but that is going to be the point at which you can't go up from here anymore. There aren't any more bad guys to fight. What do you do then, you know?
Well, for example, now what they've done in World of Warcraft now, which is interesting, unfortunately not so entertaining, but interesting, is they've gone back in time. That's always been one of the aspects of World of Warcraft that could have been explored. You have an aspect, Dragon, according to law, that controls time.
Yeah.
And thus you have the opportunity, or you're capable of traveling back and forth in time. So as far as Sargeras and taking him out and all that is concerned, I mean, I have no idea. It'll be possible eventually, like you said, with Blackwing or Deathwing, or you were capable of taking him out due to the assistance of other forces, and it'll probably be similar to Sargeras if ever it gets there, where all the aspects and everything are ganging up on him, and the Alliance or the Horde or whoever you're playing is simply there to deal with the killing blow, the death, the last shot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back. But as far as content is concerned, what I like about, or what I would like to see in World of Warcraft, is new lore. At the end of the day, somebody, wrote the law for this, and what's preventing them from just adding onto the law, as long as it makes sense. For example, we've got, if you talk in movie line or Hollywood line, they've got a whole new concept of Star Trek, where it's an alternate universe. Simply a question of, okay, we ran out of Gene Roddenberry's law, so let's write new law. And make movies based on that. And I believe that in World of Warcraft that's also possible.
Logistically, the problem there is Warcraft started out as not as an RPG but as a real-time strategy. And I've been reading a lot of ideas from people that followed the Warcraft universe, like from the days of Warcraft 1. Orcs and humans, and the general consensus is for the lore to really progress, they have to stop World of Warcraft, create a few more real-time strategy games, to create new content, to create new lore, and then have a World of Warcraft 2. What are your opinions on this?
Well, again, World of Warcraft, as we know it, the real-time strat, yes, was the premise to which World of Warcraft was made from. But I think that since have changed. It's no longer a question of World of Warcraft being like Warcraft. I think now, if we're going to see a new real-time strat coming from Blizz in the sense of Warcraft, it'll be World of Warcraft based, if you understand what I'm saying. And that's happened in a few instances, that the game's predecessor actually, fades away and the new game takes over.
Yeah.
Where it becomes the new lore / the new interest. For World of Warcraft to die, I think all that needs to happen is new content needs to be released, which Blizzard so far have done. Quite successfully. I mean, we've seen people, like you said earlier, trying new games once the content's been explored, that's out there. And the moment a new expansion comes out, all those players are right back. And then unfortunately you get that complaint that the old content was better and the new content is crap. But anyway, let's not get into that right now. For World of Warcraft not to die as such, meaning lose all their subscribers, they have to continue doing what they're doing so far, because it's been successful. I mean, we're looking at 10 years?
Yeah,
10 years of this game?
And that in itself is a serious problem for the developers, in that there's only so much you can do with a 10-year-old engine. They've done amazing things with the new expansion, new models, all of that. But ultimately, the technology is 10 years old. How would you effectively go from the existing world onto a world that has new content, new
engines, what you're trying to say,
engines and stuff, without
yes.
killing the existing model?
Okay, there's a workaround on that, as you've seen with, I think it was the newest expansion. they update the character models, right?
Yeah.
So what they'll probably do, let's say they release the strat game, another strat game for Warcraft, and it's basically what they have to do. They'll have to work on the strat game while doing the World of Warcraft thing, but keeping ahead of the time, you know?
Yeah.
So let's say they've planned 4 more expansions, but during the stage that the 4 expansions are released, they're working on a new Warcraft RTS to bring in new story and new lore. But within those 4 expansions, they have to set up the framework for a new graphic system,
A new engine.
That the moment that they release the strategy game, they can say, okay, cool, we're flipping the switch now. These are the new graphics. These are the updated graphics. The problem with that is the amount of time and money spent on just implementing that and the huge server-wide rollouts. I mean, what's the average downtime when Warcraft experiences a new patch? Almost 0, I believe. George, you're more knowledgeable on this.
Well, it depends again on your internet connectivity, and unfortunately, we are in like one of the worst internet supplied countries. So if I were to comment on that, it'll be the downtime is 6 hours, the physical time. Then you have your download time on the patch and your installation time, and that's normally between 4 hours. So you say 12 hours would be,
and this is coming from one of the countries
generous.
with probably the worst internet connection in the world.
Yes. So, but the physical downtime that everybody experiences is 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours.
4 to 6 hours. Okay, so
Yes.
that's just the downtime. Now imagine they have to rewrite the engine, and now people and this is another problem. Now people will log in, and it's like, my computer can't handle World of Warcraft anymore. What do they do then? Do they write 2 different engines?
What they've got currently... Sorry, go ahead.
Personally, my opinion on this is, World of Warcraft was a serious divergence from the original concept of Warcraft and Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, which were strat games, right? Early Warcraft 1 was one of the founders of strat. It was basically one step up from Dune 2, which was the very first of the real-time strategy games. And there was story that they were writing on the fly while the game was busy being made. There wasn't actually a preset story yet. Then from there, because of the success, they released Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness, in which they explored the story significantly more. They even introduced hero units to a degree. It wasn't under the player's control, but there was a lot of focus, a lot of RPG elements in the focus, and the same with it Beyond the Dark Portal. You followed the heroes that closed the portal through their adventures through Diratar, and from there you had Warcraft 3, which was very, very, very RPG driven. You had your hero units, you had your in-game cutscenes that progressed the story, and if you look at the development cycle, it was tending towards a role-playing game very fast through the versions, and World of Warcraft was the natural evolution of the game. They tried a adventure game before World of Warcraft that followed the story of Thrall as he was growing up in Durnold Keep. And unfortunately, it was never released. There was too many development problems, so they canned the project. But
that was the cinematic hidden away on the Diablo 1 CD?
Yes, that is correct. Yes. There was a lot of it was a cartoon adventure game in the line of Monkey Island and all the era quests. Obviously just with updated graphics and all of that, but like I said, unfortunately it was never released. But that was, from that point already, it was very clear that Blizzard wanted to move this into a more of a, how can I say, adventure, role-playing type of gameplay. So I think, long story short, the natural evolution from here is give us Sargeras, or give them Sargeras, let them fight him, or assist the Titans in fighting him, and have World of Warcraft end there and say, you know what, you won, end of story. Then release a role-playing game, maybe a game along the lines of Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, where you control a party of people, each one with a story, and have them explore the role-playing element of it, let's say 1,000 years in the future after Sargeras. Get rid of all the baggage from the previous versions, the whole war with orcs, the elder gods, the titans, put that all to rest. Start with something completely new in the World of Warcraft universe. You have your party of 6 people. You explore a role-playing game, maybe 1 or 2 versions, and then release World of Warcraft 2. That, I think, is one of the options they can take from here. And that would solve the problem with the engine,